and welcome to the States of Matter, a podcast from the Institute of Refrigeration's Women in RACHP network. I'm Karen Perry, and here to co-host is our network chair, Lisa Jane Cook.
Hi, Karen.
And this episode, we're continuing our theme discussing subjects of interest for our industry's women. We welcome Angelika Cutuk-Short. Angelika is a healthcare professional nutritionist. She has years of experience helping women struggle with many different health issues, with a special interest in perimenopausal and menopausal women's health, as well as fertility issues. Welcome, Angelika.
Hi. Thank you, ladies, for having me today.
Thank you for joining us. I guess we'd love to hear a bit more about you, and also tell us really what does a functional nutritionist do?
Yes, of course. So I'm Angelika. I'm a founder actually of Mind Over Food Method, also functional nutritionist and certified behavior coach. So functional nutritionist actually means that I suggest and interpret blood tests, actually stool and diagnostic testing, because I actually believe future of healthcare lies in personalized, tailor-made nutrition. So that's why I kind of moved a little bit kind of that way, test, don't guess. So that's what functional nutritionist means there.
Excellent, thank you. And tell us a little bit about you and your career and your journey.
I've been in nutrition actually over 15 years now. So, been around the block. So what I do these days, I help to empower women over 40 to take control of their hormones, their weight, and their gut health. That's kind of primary thing what I do. And I have helped and worked with thousands of clients, either private or corporate, helping people really struggling with the weight loss, but they don't know why. People struggling with hormones, perimenopause, menopause, PCOS, infertility, gut health issues. This really cropping up, that gut health, because I generally think gut is the mothership of our health. Okay, so fixing gut can help so many other things. As you guys know, I specialize in perimenopause and menopause, also metabolic syndrome. That's something close to my heart, helping people to reverse type 2 diabetes. Karen, you mentioned fertility. Actually, that wasn't kind of my main thing, but at 45, I give birth to a healthy baby girl. And now I have so many inquiries about fertility after 40. That is amazing. So yes, that's pretty much about me. Also, just to say, it wasn't always like that. I didn't always know, what to do and how to handle things. In my 20s, I was actually 4 stone overweight. That was tough for me back then. It was really affected my confidence, affected, the way I kind of function. So I really went to do, my bachelor degree, master degree, coaching to kind of learn things for myself, fix myself, so I can actually help other people.
Excellent. And how important is nutrition to I suppose our mental health and mental well-being, and even kind of how that kind of links with stress in the workplace as well, in how we could actually make ourselves feel better through nutrition?
Nutrition, I mean, have a huge impact. If you just think, we literally, we eat at least 3 times a day, I hope, right? 3 meals at least, which is what I actually promote with no snacking. So all these nutrients, all, vitamin B's, vitamin C's, magnesium, it all coming from food we eat. Okay. So if we want to, let's say, if we want to work on our stress or reduce the stress, we can do that through nutrition. Okay, so having green leafy vegetables, eating nuts, seeds, all those healthy foods will help. Also, sometimes we can go a little bit further, look for some certain supplement, because a lot of our diets these days, they're not necessarily ideal, right? what is perfect diet, okay? Who cooks 3 meals a day? So, depends obviously from person to person, but we can do so much with the food, especially in perimenopause and menopause, hormones playing, big part, and we have to we have to help our hormones through the food itself.
It is rewarding your body, isn't it? I think you've said no snacking, so I'm out. But yeah, I think most
Karen,
of us
not
do.
yet. Don't get out yet. Like, listen. There are a few, I will share some, golden nuggets here on nutrition, and it is actually much easier than we think. When I talk to people, especially when I go to dinner, I went with some I have 10 years old daughter as well. Moms went for a dinner. And when I said there are nutritionists at the table, seriously, everybody dropped there.
Yeah, it's like
Spoon
driving
and
with a driving
fork.
instructor. You kind of, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
doing it all wrong.
but I know, I was like, no, it's not that hard actually. When we kind of know what to do, right? And what I mentioned with snacking, if we have proper breakfast, proper lunch, proper dinner, you actually don't need a snack. Okay. And having a bowl of soup for lunch, that's not lunch. Okay. But Karen, we can make that soup a lunch, add piece of chicken. Okay, add piece of chicken, add a little bit seeds and nuts, a little bit pumpkin seed, a little bit sesame seeds, and make some salad. That is lunch, and that soup turn into lunch. We can be creative, really, once you know how. Genuinely, it's not difficult.
And I think some of those traditional diets, and I won't mention any particular names of any, but you're right, a shake at lunchtime or a breakfast shake or something isn't nutrition, is it? It's just kind of trying to fill a gap, but you're going to get bored. You're constantly going to think about food because you're removing it from your diet. And I think, yeah, jokes aside, I think like Lisa Jane, both of us enjoy exercise and going to the gym and then trying to, yeah, you can enjoy yourself as well.
Yeah.
While trying to eat healthy. I think where I suffer
Absolutely.
is when I'm busy and running around and haven't got time, that you're not thinking about what you're eating and putting into your body, really.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's true. And listen, I'm not here to, prohibit anything. I'm not here to, say, don't eat that, don't eat this, don't eat that. Absolutely. Actually, when you prohibit people something in general, it backfires, right? If you said, child, don't run, what do? They run. Our brain doesn't hear word no. So if I said, don't eat chocolate, or, don't eat rice, it doesn't compute. It really doesn't work. In a real case, scenario, it doesn't work. So no prohibiting. And I genuinely, ladies, I'm not here, to a lecture about any special diet, any fad diets or anything like that. Statistics show women spend 17 years dieting in their lives. Okay, and that's actually shocking. Okay, so what I'm going to show some tips that you really can use in everyday life. I'm a very practical girl, right? I want to put it there and you can use it, straight away. And also, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but for women kind of in that midlife transition, it's not time for weird diets. Okay, this is not time to experiment. That time has passed, from crazy diets, Dukan, keto, whatever is gone. Okay, we should not experiment. Actually, a reason for not experimenting now is that our hormones have a huge impact on the way we're processing food, the way we feel, all the aspects of our life. Hormones take over, especially after 40. We always have hormones, right? But after 40, it's just that more prominent. And we just don't have enough digestive enzymes. We cannot we cannot support eating certain food that we eat in our 20s and 30s. Our body cannot just process it, cannot digest it. And I'm so sorry to say this. I don't want to be, as I said, Debbie Downer, but soon we kind of realize this, that we need to make little changes. I'm not talking huge things here. Please, people, don't get scared, okay? Like, it's not that. But small little tweaks, they can make huge difference, because look, gone are the days where you can lose half a stone just skipping dinner for a week, right? It doesn't go like this. And also, having a bottle of wine and pizza and for dinner and wake up fresh as a daisy doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't work for me. I'm 47. It's just, I just cannot do this anymore. But I realized that on a kind of conscious level, I was like, this just doesn't work anymore. And, don't get me wrong, I like red wine, I like pizza, and I do eat those, but I treat them as a treat. Okay, and treat is different for every person. Treat is different. I set my treats. I'm going to have pizza, once a month. Okay, wine, I do wine, but they'll be with the meal, always with the food. That's the trick with the wine, I think, over 40. For me, a lot of my clients work. When you have it with the wine, it does not affect you as much, and it's going to be a glass. And glass is 100 ml, is not a pint. Yeah, so doing those quantities, getting quantities right, we can still have everything, but it's going to be just in different quantities. Okay, and I think that's kind of good message. And also have those foods that you truly like, but treat them as a treat. Have them as a treat, and you set the timeline for your treat. I hope that makes sense.
It sounds like we need to build some good habits. It's a lifestyle change, isn't it, rather than a diet?
Absolutely.
So do you have any good tips for that? Because I think that's where people really struggle. And like Karen said, quite often we're all really guilty of it. We're busy, we're running about, many of us on the road. So the first thing we do when we're hungry is stop at the garage and we'll grab a sandwich or, a pasta salad or whatever. And that is literally how we are day to day. So what could we do to actually form better habits to make those better choices?
Yeah, Lisa Jane, you are 100% right. It's all about habits. Like genuinely, I mean that. And being an LP coach, I really kind of try to help people with the habits, because as I said, I'm not here to preach about any diets or anything. It just doesn't work. So to answer your question, prepping is very important. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. I learned that a couple of years ago, and I genuinely think that's true. So, having that breakfast, so what is your breakfast, right? So you've got it sorted out maybe night before. That will help. We're talking, if you have, let's say, the breakfast is 2 eggs, you have a little bit of hummus, a little bit of avocado, and maybe some pumpernickel bread, right? That might sound quite big, but that is the breakfast. So that will hold you, because you're having, with avocado, you're getting healthy fats. Hummus, you're getting, again, a little bit of healthy fats. You're getting healthy carbs. Eggs are superfood. Talking about superfoods, I'm not into, superfoods and all this and that, but eggs are superfood. Having that healthy breakfast, it will take you straight away, good 1-2 p.m. You won't be hungry. And you won't necessarily, go into that garage and seek some snack, really. That's what we are after. Okay, so preparation, very, very important. But preparation comes once we kind of actively change our minds, really. Talk to ourselves, get that habits, get into that habit mode. Okay, so preparation there. I think that is the biggest thing. And another thing I will say here, we need to check our sleep. Okay, a lot of women, especially over 40, have problem with the sleep. And if we don't sleep, we tend to eat much more. And we're talking around 500 calories, which is whole extra meal that we're going to have if we don't sleep properly. So solution here is check out your sleep hygiene, what you're doing night before, because good healthy nutrition day start with night before. When you're going to sleep, is it before 11? Do you have devices hour before? Not eating 2 or 3 hours before bed will help a lot with the sleep and not waking, right? Does that make sense? Preparation is really everything. Once you do prep right, you kind of start creating habits as well.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. And actually the sleep thing, I think that probably resonates with all of us as well. We're all terrible at managing.
It's been
those
a bad
things,
couple of
aren't
weeks.
Oh, is it? What, both of you?
I think probably the last couple of weeks has been worse with events and things like that, and enjoying.
Yeah, I know. Life will never not be busy, ladies, and that is the fact that we have to acknowledge. Is just kind of actively working on it, bit by bit, and these habits does not happen overnight. Please, ladies, know that, and especially over 40, actually progesterone is first hormone that we start losing. Progesterone regulates sleep. It really is hormonal. It's not you ladies, it's hormonal, over 35, and they will have huge effect. And we're talking about estrogen, progesterone, thyroid hormone, cortisol, and insulin. If we want to talk a little bit about hormones, these are the hormones that we need to look after via nutrition to help us out. And cortisol being the main one. Cortisol, as you would know, is flight or fight hormone, stress hormone. This one is the devil, okay? And don't shoot the messenger here, ladies. Like, what I'm saying here is, I think it's good to know, because, GP won't have a time to explain this in detail. So cortisol, it's a primer hormone, so it's the boss. It's coming from kind of prehistoric times when we were chased by saber-tooth tiger. In order to save life, we need cortisol, okay? Because cortisol it's flight or fight hormone, make us run, save our lives. So cortisol, even to this date, will be the primer. If we are stressed, we will produce cortisol and shut down production all of the other hormones. So being stressed, we shut down production of progesterone that we need for sleep, shut down production of estrogen that we need for so many functions, shut down production of insulin. Thyroid is shut down when we are stressed. Stress is one of those things that, I'm sure you ladies talk, in some other podcasts and stuff, but it's like big thing. And we just have to find the ways to cope. And it's not about necessary, we all get stressed, as I said, that's God-given, I think, but it's how we perceive, how we cope. Are you the person come weekend and you cannot unwind, even for like hour or two? To me, that's sign of stress. We have to find those minutes or few hours at least in a week that we are by ourselves, with ourselves, and really being mindful. Because this, being in that stage, it's called this parasympathetic stage, you actually calming that cortisol and give chance to all the other hormones to flourish. With the cortisol, I'm going to talk nutritionally a little bit about those hormones, okay? So with the cortisol, avoiding processed food again, sugar, salt, vegetable oils, this will all present itself as a stress and raise that stress levels. What we can do actually, plenty vitamin C. Cortisol reduction, you know, vitamin C is important. Magnesium is super duper important. So ladies, if you have any problem, you know, cannot unwind in the evening, you know, struggle, magnesium is phenomenal thing. You can get it in green vegetables. We're talking, you know, kale, we're talking Brussels sprouts, broccoli, you know, you get them in those vegetables, leafy green vegetables above the ground. But also, as I said, magnesium glycinate, that really, really good supplement in that glycinate form, is amazing. It really can relax you and help sleep. That's one of the supplements that I really see great results for that. So that's the cortisol. And you know, it's a little bit tricky, right? We are in this 40, 50s, and probably, I find it, you know, probably the most stressful time. You're having, you know, growing family, elderly parents or relatives, work, and that's the tricky thing, you know, when to find the time and how to do it. I think that's the hard part. But I think being aware that we are owed to find some time for us. We really need to, for our health, for our sanity, mental and physical health. I think once we kind of tell ourselves, and it's okay talking to ourselves, you know, apparently when we talk to ourselves, our subconscious listen, and subconscious is goal getter. Okay, that subconscious will get you what you want. Okay, it's not that conscious frontal lobe, which is which set the goals, right? I'm going to lose, you know, 5 pounds. Okay, we set it here, but it's actually that subconscious that will get you that. You know, it's not easy in 40s and 50s, 35s as well. You know, it's not necessary. You know, we're talking about perimenopause, menopause here, but all these things can go before, because perimenopause is the time before we got into menopause. It can last actually up to 10 years. And, you know, we can basically, perimenopause means we having menopausal symptoms, but we still have period. That's what perimenopause stands for. And then we have menopause, and then we have postmenopause, which is period after that 12 months without period. Okay, and I know some clients that actually they have a problem even before, something called premature ovarian insufficiency, and they have menopause onset in their 20s. So, you know, and this has to be diagnosed, obviously. But 1 in 100 women have that condition as well.
It seems like a lot of women for something that's really not known that widely. I mean, we're sort of sidestepping a little bit here, and we've talked about menopause, but actually to hear that figure, that 1 in 100 would go through it at that very early age, it must be quite isolating, like I say, because even as women in our 40s, we're struggling to get what we need, the support we need, or even just to be acknowledged at the moment. So it's really good to have all these nutritional tips, just actually, so that, you know, we can arm ourselves with things that we can change now to actually have a positive impact on our health while we're waiting to go through the system.
That's true. That's true. Knowledge is power, and I know it's a bumper sticker slogan, but actually it's true. It's true. A lot of things can be done. A lot of things, and premature ovarian insufficiency normally should be picked up by NHS. You know, those are ladies having problem with fertilities in particular, right? Because if you know, don't have period every month, if you know, have a lot of symptoms and stuff, it's you know, much harder to get pregnant and stuff. And sometimes hormonal therapy, you know, can help there. So yeah, but the system, yes, system is tricky in terms of you know, helping hormonally. And I've done training with Dr. Louise Newson, you know, fab doctor, but she's all about HRT, right? And HRT is great. I saw some great results with some people on HRT, and I genuinely believe it's a bit genetic how you're going to react and which benefits you will get from HRT treatment. I generally believe that, because somebody with postnatal depression, let's say, will struggle with HRT. That's kind of, you know, God-given, because obviously they have issues with hormones, hormone receptors, and just won't work for them. Just a brief thing on HRT, probably some of your listeners might be interested. It could be great, especially with sleep, progesterone. It can help so much. And some people can take it for a while until, you know, you kind of reestablish that sleep pattern. Sometimes you need some kind of gap, right? You need to gap that bridge the gap. That's what I meant. To kind of get into the better routine and help yourself out for like a couple of weeks, and then you kind of on a you know, kind of into positive way, and you can manage that sleep. Okay, so HRT plays definite part. Also, what I will say with HRT is not treatment for depression. Can I just say this here? Because I see a lot of women, you know, coming into my world, and they are on antidepressants, you know, 45 antidepressants. And actually, nice guidance, and that's on NHS as well, site states that HRT is not treatment for depression. Okay, and you know, that's why we kind of really, you know, we have that exit strategy, and that really is nutrition, you know. And as I said, we have foods bring, because by the way, we get all the nutrients, you know, all the vitamins, all the minerals, everything comes from the food, you know, not the air we breathe, not the water, everything we have to import via food through our mouth. Okay, you want healthy fats, okay, to build your hormones. By the way, all our hormones are built from fat. Okay, they are not synthetically, sorry, they are made of fat. So if you want your estrogen or progesterone or cortisol to be in a prime tip-top shape, we need to give body good oils, okay, good fats. And we talk here, again, avocado is going to be these healthy fats. Okay, we're talking avocado, we're talking, you know, I don't know, cooking with sesame oils, we're talking olive oil, we're talking seeds, nuts, right? Coconut oil. These are all healthy stuff that we can have. And on the other hand, you know, frying stuff like deep frying, I mean, we know that doesn't help us. So, you know, I don't have to, you know, say that, but that will have negative effect on those hormones. Okay, because those are not the oils that will build those hormones. And one more thing I will say, and I genuinely think everybody over 40 or 35, shall I say, should have fish oils. Okay, this is the supplement that I genuinely suggest to every single person that I come in contact with. Our brain is made of omega-3 oils. Okay, every cell contain omega-3, and they are anti-inflammatory. Anybody have any joint issues or, you know, painful creaky joints, they are better than ibuprofen. Okay, they work on same receptors as ibuprofen. They are painkillers. Okay, very important. You know, fish oil and good multivitamin and vitamin D is something that we should have by default, and I generally mean that, all year around. And your body, it's okay, these are only 3 that you can have nearly constantly. All the other supplements, you need to be, if you're taking supplements, you need to be that little bit careful. But these 3 all year around. What I do actually when I go on holiday, I don't take any supplements. I'm on holiday, I don't need anything. Like, I will, you know, holiday will fix things, and that's what I think. And you know, sometimes it's good to have a break, but yeah, just a little touch on supplements. So
it's a really nice way to think about diet, and I think as a teenager, throughout my 20s, 30s, probably, that diet was always about weight loss and how I looked. And actually, yeah, to really think about it as nutrition and how you feel must impact people longer term, that you follow diets, and as Lisa Jane said, that lifestyle becomes normal for you.
Yes, and Karen, that's the problem. You know, we kind of got used to things. Okay, this get used to, that's where the devils lie, I think, right? We get used to eating certain food, we get used to doing certain things, and it's very, very difficult to break away from that. Okay, that genuinely is the problem. And sometimes we need somebody to tell us, we need somebody to shake us up, like, you know, it just doesn't work. You know, and I feel so bad saying, you know, like some people will hate me, like, you know, but like we just don't have capacity to process the same thing as we did in 20s and 30s. Right. And I don't know about you ladies, but when I go to McDonald's, I used to like bloody McDonald's. I used to be addict. Like, I genuinely, I was for like 6 months straight in my 20s. I was having double cheeseburger and fries. I swear. Okay. I was a student, poor student. Anyways, there's a little story here. And I was, and hence 4 stone overweight. But now when I go with my 10 years old, we go in McDonald's, and you know, it's still alluring. Alluring, is that yes? You still, I get the smell. It still gets me after all this, you know, nutrition, studying, working literally with over 1,000 clients. I was like, damn it smells like good. Like, you know, smell actually, and I learned recently, is the strongest sense that can go to limbic system and remember it literally until we die. It just doesn't go away. But now what I do, my daughter will go and I will have, again, double cheeseburger, fries, always the same. And, you know, there was that excitement. I'm like, oh my God, you know, this tastes so good. And then literally 15 minutes later, I feel crap. I feel like bloated, energy is down. I was like, what the fudge I did? You know, like, what have I done to myself?
It is remembering that feeling, isn't it? And I think if you go out for a big meal or something and you are in so much pain that, yeah, you can't move off the sofa, it's actually remembering how horrible that feeling is, rather than, yeah, what you've done before that.
Yes, and what I realized, again, it's all about like realization, you know, talking to ourselves and getting things in our heads. I was like, now this is not worth it for me. Like, I'm too old for that. So, you know, and you know, once I realized, now I actually genuinely, you know, confession here, I didn't have McDonald's for the last like 3 years. I just, and you know, that passion is gone. You know, smell is still there though. Like, you know, passing a high street, I can still get the smell, but I'm above that scent. You know, I'm above the smell. I can handle it. I'm over it. It's those things, you know, like really convincing ourselves, but we have to go through it, you know, and knowing like facts and figures is much easier to deal with the things.
You mentioned sleep as well, and I think there's a lot when you look at sort of diets now and nutrition that talk about kind of fasting, and it kind of works for me to stop eating at 8 p.m. and then not maybe eating again till kind of late morning. Is there kind of studies in that you think that fasting for women of a certain age, that is better to have spend less hours in the day eating? Obviously it's less calories, but yeah, what else is?
Yeah, Karen, you just say, you know, fasting, intermittent fasting, this is my holy grail. I absolutely love intermittent fasting, or time restricted feed, whatever you call it, is absolute amazing. I actually did want to talk about it, you know, a little bit further down the line. It is probably, as I said, I don't talk per diet per se, okay? But intermittent fasting is actually not a diet, is the way of living, is way of being. So skipping, and that's pretty much what I kind of say to my clients is stopping the dinner 7, 8, and then leaving that 12 hours is the minimum gap. Okay. And that's any of your listeners really should be doing it. 12-hour gap, between last meal and first meal in the morning. But if you want to take fasting on a little bit, another level, it's going to be, we're talking about 14, 16-hour fast. And 14 hours actually proven to be sweet spot for perimenopausal, menopausal women. Just put it out there. The benefits, oh my God, the benefits are, I actually done, see, I'm getting a little bit fired up. I've done a lot of research actually to answer your question on fasting in the last probably 5, 6 years. Fabulous. We're talking about reducing cholesterol. We talk about reducing insulin, because insulin is another tricky one. I talk about cortisol. Insulin, it's blood sugar regulation. That's the big one. Okay, so fasting will lower insulin. What fasting does actually, a lot of diets take your muscles away. You know, when you're losing weight, you're actually losing your lean muscles. Okay, and that's something after 40 we cannot afford. We need our muscles. Okay, we need the muscles because they are metabolically active. They burn fat even while we sleep. Muscles are also important to support our bones so we don't get osteoporosis. And muscles, I mean, for our looks, right? We don't want to lose those muscles, and fasting will preserve those lean muscles. Also, actually, it's been proven it prevents Alzheimer, Parkinson's disease, and all the other neurodegenerative diseases. That's what fasting can do as well, right? It is anti-aging. Current, I can go forever, yeah. Like, so many benefits, and genuinely, if anything to recommend is that fasting, and it's the easiest thing you can do, and genuinely, like, anybody can do it. It takes weeks to kind of get into the groove and do it. Yeah.
And it adds into that sleep as well, because if you're stopping eating at 8 and you're hopefully then getting an earlier night, you're really sleeping through to that point that 12 hours, say, and then, yeah, I think I like it because it does make you feel like you are doing something that is quite easy, I suppose, to me, and then it wouldn't be for everyone. And then you enjoy your meals more as well. And yeah, I think certainly sleeping better as well. It all kind of
links in 100%. The worst thing is literally you're going to bed 10 and have some food 9 o'clock. I mean, that cannot be good. That cannot be good. First of all, your digestion need to rest. Okay, when we are asleep, digestion is resting, we're recuperating. You don't want to leave your car outside and go to bed. Okay, same thing. You fill yourself with the food, and then that poor digestion have to work all night long. This will increase your cortisol, by the way. Okay, this will increase insulin. Your body is in a state of struggle. Okay, yes, you gave me that food, thank you very much, now I have to work all night long. How lovely. And it's not fair. Just shouldn't be doing that. And yes, sometimes there are nights, especially when it's cold and stuff, we want that little something. I get it, but again, then we need to be mindful. Cup of hot tea, some herbal tea, chamomile or sleep tea can do wonders, and like generally ward off that hunger. Okay, I'm talking about personal experience and many of my clients, because hot stuff is good. It kind of calms down digestion, and also it fills down the stomach, so you actually don't feel that hunger. Just a little trick. Another thing, if you really like, you've done the tea, you're like, damn, still hungry, like, you know, and I don't want that like cheese, cracker, and biscuit, right? You know, what is very good, and they've proven this actually, eating a kiwi. Kiwi actually can help, will help production of serotonin, and will help production of sleep hormone. Okay, so having a kiwi, or having, I mean, if you really have to resort and you are not lactose intolerant, a piece of cheese, you know, one that's square. Okay, that will help again to kind of calm down the mind and help sleep. Just a little tips there. You know, you shouldn't go towards trying anything else. As I said, hot tea will help, but there are these few things that maybe sometime to try just in case you're pushed to the limits. But fasting, genuinely, if anybody listening to this, you know, do little research, do, you know, or even contact me, you know, Nutrition in Mind. If you Google it, you know, it will be there. There are so many benefits, and it actually is probably the easiest thing one can do.
All the things you're saying makes a lot of sense, but I'm terrible with my meal times. I don't usually eat breakfast till about 10:30, 11 in the morning. Don't really have a lunch, and then I have a late meal, so I don't eat till like 10 or 10:30 at night. So I'm absolutely completely the opposite of what you're asking everybody to do.
Lisa, you know, it's always, there is a place and time for everything, you know, and maybe listening something like this can kind of spur you in, and maybe bits and pieces will resonate, right? And you know, it's hard, and I'm not saying, you know, it's easy. It's a process, as I said. And what I see with the clients as well, and I'm like, you know, there's food is so versatile. We go in a supermarket, you know, Sainsbury, Tesco, you know, Marks and Spencer, thousands of items on the shelves, right? Thousands upon thousands. And then we end up with the shopping basket on repeat, you know, same old, same old. And you know, variety really is spice of life. And variety also, we need the variety to get different vitamins and minerals. You know, having the same food, we're actually risking some certain, you know, food deficiencies, right? We might not get enough iron or enough B vitamins just because we're eating the same thing. That's a shame. There really is a shame. We really need to spice things up. And it's not easy. I get that. You know, I get that. I actually have my meals, my favorite meals, and I adding every time I adding to my list on the fridge, so I can rotate and really be creative. But it takes a lot of effort, I have to say. Okay, but that's the effort I'm ready to make for me and my family, because I get it. I know. And you know, sooner we realize, the better. Food is, and also seasonal stuff, right? This is the time, and nature is so clever, and that's what kind of gets me. Nature is so clever. You know, come autumn, we're having the oranges, the lemons, the mandarins, right? And they are full of vitamin C. You know, it's seasonal. That's what, you know, God give us, if you like, the nature give us. We want to pack up that vitamin C to prevent colds, you know, to fight viruses, COVID, or, you know, whatever you need to fight. It's here, it's in the food, and it's seasonal. Just a little tip there. You know, strawberries are for, you know, May, June, July. and you know, whatever is kind of in the season, have the seasonal. Just a little talk there. I would just want a few things to say, foods about thyroid. Okay, because thyroid is the big one when we talk about sleep, when we talk about weight, right? Metabolic rate, the rate we burn our fats is actually controlled by thyroid gland. A lot of people are taking thyroxine, you know, or synthetic hormones, but really to protect your thyroid, there are three simple things I'm going to share here that will help. I'm not saying this cure your thyroid issues, no, but it will help. So Brazil nuts, for example, having 3 Brazil nuts per day will give you enough selenium to keep your thyroid in tip-top condition. Okay, and that's everybody can do. You go next shopping, put that Brazil nut. Okay, I hope nobody is allergic to nuts. Okay, so another thing is the seaweed. Having a seaweed or kelp. Okay, this is a little bit like acquired taste, but you can get those seaweeds little containers, and you can have it as a snack. Actually, it's like crisps. I got 10 years old. She loved seaweed, and now with her, actually, I start eating seaweed, which is amazing. It actually tastes really, really good. Okay, so seaweed contain iodine, and iodine is the mineral that needs to be present to create thyroxine. You need that for your health of your thyroid. Okay, another one is coconut oil. Actually, it boosts energy and metabolic rate and help with your thyroid. Okay, these are 3 little tips. You can actually put it in your shopping basket now. Practical stuff. Also, I want to say, so for hormones, right? We talk about a little bit of sleep, perimenopause, menopause here. So how to boost your estrogen naturally. I'm going to share a few tips here. By the way, estrogen is so important, and we kind of in perimenopause start falling down. That's natural process, nothing to be ashamed of. This is just what it is, and that's okay. When estrogen falls down, we kind of start getting menopausal symptoms. Could be hot flashes, could be night sweats. Okay, these are the common ones, but those ones are not just symptoms that you get. We're talking about heart palpitation. Okay, that is the sign of low estrogen, because there is a lot of estrogen receptors in our heart muscle. Okay, and this is actually one of my thing in my 40s. I just hit the 40s. I was like having this heavy heart palpitations at night. I actually thought I had a bloody heart attack. I really was scared. I went to the GP, done ECG, everything normal. Okay, and they were like, everything normal, discharge you. Obviously, it's okay. And then I figured it out. Actually, is due to estrogen. Okay, and then another little bit unusual symptoms, just to kind of point out some of the women, crawling ant syndrome. That's another thing, having crawly feelings in the body, burning tongue, metal taste in our mouth, problem with the gums and the teeth. Okay, that is also a sign of falling estrogen. Not even to mention, moodiness and like, lost zest of life. Okay, that's the one that a lot of women experience. Nothing really excites us that much. You really need to go high to get, do something like amazing to get excited. That also, sadly, is a sign of estrogen falling down. Okay, so it's not just hot flashes and night sweats. There are many symptoms, and another one actually, which is not that pleasant, joint pain. And I have this with a lot of clients. They coming into my world and they're like, my joints are killing me, and it's not arthritis. They done some blood tests. It doesn't show inflammation, but they cannot go to gym, right? And there's a bit of a vicious cycle, right? Your joints hurt. You don't go to do your Pilates or yoga, and then, right, everything is this catch-22 here. Okay, but the reason for that actually is falling estrogen. So important, the estrogen, like seriously. We need to find the ways to put it back in our system, like genuinely. And as I said, for some people, for some ladies, will be HRT to replace that lost estrogen. And HRT, as I said, will be the solution, depending on the person, bit of genetic there. But for some ladies, kind of natural ways to increase estrogen is taking phytoestrogens. Okay, phytoestrogens is the plant estrogens. So they kind of mimic our body estrogen. They bind to estrogen receptors. So we don't have those hot flashes, we don't have night sweats. Everything gets better, okay, because we fill that receptors with plant-based estrogen. And plant-based estrogen, one of the best one actually will be soya products. Okay, because soya products is very high in those phytoestrogens, and how you do that is basically, having a tofu once a week, having a tofu once or twice a week, edamame beans. I don't know, ladies, do you like those? Right?
Yes.
Edamame beans, miso soup is the fermented soya. So these are, so if you're going to Kokoro, anybody like Korean food, right? So if you're going any like Korean food or Japanese food, so you just order those. Have your miso soup as a starter, edamame beans, for a side dish. Have tofu, as I said, once a week. This will raise your estrogens. Okay. Another thing that is very, very helpful to raise that estrogen is actually flaxseed. Okay, it's kind of lignin family, but it still produces this phytoestrogen. Okay, having 2 tablespoons of milled flaxseed. It has to be, grinded in this coffee grinder, because if you're having as a seeds, it doesn't work. It just goes through because body cannot break those seeds. Okay, the shell. So having literally 2 teaspoons every single day of flaxseed, that will bump up your estrogen to a certain level. And that's something that literally everybody can do. Flaxseed is so, so good. You can put it over your soup. You can put it in your smoothie. You can add it to a yogurt, to your kefir. I'm actually big on probiotics because I'm actually, doing a lot of, stool testing, gut testings. We need probiotics, guys. So, so important for production of hormones and for your gut health, constipation, diarrhea, bloating. We need those good probiotics. So, for example, and this is actually my favorite, 3 p.m. estrogen boosting, digestion regulating snack. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So 100 ml, like
My pen is ready.
Yes, Karen, I see the pen. So 100 ml of kefir, like a half a glass of kefir, 2 teaspoons of flaxseed oil, 2 prunes, and 2 figs. Or if you don't have figs, put like 2-3 prunes. Ladies, this is 3-4 p.m. You're feeling that little bit energy slam, right? You're going down. Energy wise, this is actually really, really good. It tastes great, by the way. Prunes give a little bit of sweetness. They're very good to help you regulate, right? I'm sure you guys know prunes are, famous for regulation, any constipation issues. They're brilliant. Kefir, it's good probiotic. It's great again for digestion, to feed those little trillions of friendly bacteria who do so much. They actually regulate your immune system. They even regulate how you process sugars. There are a whole science now coming, what those little friendly gut bacteria does. It is absolute brilliant, and we need to support them on a daily basis, like literally probiotic food every single day. Okay, so as I said, probiotic foods that can be, kefir. There are also dairy-free kefirs, just to let you know, ladies, those who don't do dairy. So, having a little bit of kimchi, that's your probiotic foods. Having sauerkraut, I don't know if you ladies like it, or maybe it's a good time to try them. Apparently it takes 10 times to try something new for your taste buds to start liking that food. So, you know, and I really don't like when people come to me, it's like, oh, I don't like that. You know, you don't like that. I mean, it's for children to say, you know, I don't, you know, I mean, I'm a little bit like, you know,
send them away and tell them to try it 9 more times and then
9 more times and come and talk to me and let's have discussion, right? You know, when my 1.5-year-old, you know, shake her head, I don't like it, you know, yeah, well, she's
keep
still
going.
in kale, so,
Yeah.
you know.
I think,
yeah.
Angelika, so much information and free advice as well, which we really appreciate. Just to give you the opportunity, I know you touched a little bit on your business and what you do, but tell us really about what your business is, and in case people do want to get in touch for more information.
Yes, of course. As I said, I'm functional nutritionist, so I do a lot of testing, and I started this, you know, a couple of years ago because I genuinely think that tailor-made nutrition is the way forward. You know, it doesn't always, you know, have to go that route, but so I help people with, as I said, weight loss, hormones, and the gut health. But actually, weight loss should come last, really, because once you fix the hormones, once you fix the gut, actually weight loss come as a side project. Okay, can I just say that? You know, it's a lot of people come and they're like, oh, you know, it's I want to lose weight. Yes, correct, but let's fix the hormones, let's fix the gut, and really that's where I can help. Okay, I have, you know, different programs, and I have a few ways of working with people. So yes, can help people, and also fertility as well, as I mentioned, and that's something that I'm working in the last couple of years a lot of people coming, because I actually had unexpectedly, right, you know, after 10 years I was that was my surprise thing, right? We tried for 10 years, nothing was happening, even though I was doing everything right, nothing, you know, no baby. But then what I did, just a brief story here, I was like, okay, I teach what I preach. Let me just do, you know, what I'm doing to people. Let's just do full-blown testing, right? Let's do stool test, blood test my thyroid, just to check my thyroid, you know, check everything. And even though I thought, you know, I'm like tip top, you know, condition, funny enough, you know, I have a H. pylori, which is the bacteria in the stomach, you know, and I need to fix that. I have a little bit of issue with the gluten. My body was not reacting to gluten that well. I went gluten-free, okay, for a while. You know, fix the gut, take some microbials. There were some parasite, you know, there were things to fix. Done detoxing, went gluten-free, as I said, and literally within 5 months, at the age of 44, I got pregnant. And, you know, I genuinely think that without doing that thorough thing with myself, doing the testing, doing the right protocols, I genuinely don't think it will happen. And I give birth to an amazing, beautiful baby girl at 45. So yes, anybody interested, and as I said, anybody over 40, anybody struggle with fertility, PCOS, you know, all those kind of hormonal things, I'm here to help.
But as you mentioned, also you work with corporate companies, so I'm just curious as to how that works.
Yes, Lisa. I actually work with few corporate companies, and what I do for them, and I'm actually just going to do one, it's 6 weeks program actually. So I do, I come for 6 weeks, our kind of lunchtime, 12 to 1, and we have a Zoom call. And yes, I talk about different topics. I've done obviously perimenopause, menopause, gut health, 6 weeks, gut health course. I'm just doing actually reversal of type 2 diabetes, 6 weeks course. I'm doing workshops, obviously, you know, workshops. I'm doing talks, especially on perimenopause, menopause. So kind of these are the main ways of working with corporates. It's actually a great way because you can reach a lot of people and educate really lot of people. I actually love doing it. So yeah, thank you for asking, Lisa.
It's really encouraging to hear that companies are actually engaging in that way and recognizing that health is actually really important to the success of their business. So I like that. It's good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's still kind of in infancy, can I just say? It's you know, I was quite lucky to get into those companies, but you know, they don't necessarily, as I said, it's still process, you know, but it's definitely happening, and it's great. And then you realize genuinely they're like high profile people, high paid people, and you just realize I'm talking about, you know, nutrition. We talk about this every day, kind of, you know, a healthier lifestyle, and there is a lot of gaps to fill, I must say. And I think it's important just to educate those like clever, you know, successful people. You know, they need to eat, and you know, they need to eat right. So any corporate business is looking for nutritionist.
I think it's fantastic. It's a wellness kind of a wellness program for companies, yeah, to talk to people about nutrition.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Angelika, thank you very much. Loads of information. I'm going to go and raid my vitamin cupboard and dig out all the stuff that I've not touched for weeks. But yeah, we will. Yeah, we will share about your business, and in case anyone wants to get in touch. But to everyone, thank you for listening to this podcast. Really hope you found it interesting and inspiring. Please download the rest of the series and keep an eye out for social media posts where you can listen again and see what's next. Please share with your colleagues and even let us know what you want to hear more of. You can get more involved with our LinkedIn group, IOR Women in WiRACHP, and help to spread the network and highlight women in our industry. Please do get in contact if you'd like to reach out about anything where we can support. Thank you.